because marathon typically takes a lot of time to sort of get
Yeah.
quite good, I would
I
imagine.
mean, I think that's the other thing. Like, um, I think a lot of guys like they go the marathon at say like 30,
Mm,
or like and like sort of run their track PBs already. Like, not going to go back to the track. And sort of first marathon they want to go out and run like 2:08. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Mm.
And I think it's kind of funny. It's probably why the Australian like debut marathon record is only 2:11. I mean,
Mm,
it's um, but on the same time, it like kind of shows the talent of marathoners Australia's had. Like,
Mm.
um, I think a lot of guys sort of go off and go out and try to bite off quite a lot straight up.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, like, I think without COVID, I'm sure I would have done the same. Like, gone and found like the quickest marathon and had a crack straight up. But I think on the other hand, like doing Melbourne Marathon as my debut, like midsummer, no pacer,
Yeah.
also no hydration. And then like Manchester, which was just like the British Championship marathon, and Copenhagen, where I ran like 22K solo. It's like kind of not ideal races, but I think I'll get a lot of experience and I'll learn a lot.
Mm.
Like having done that, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's like what you're talking to in terms of the body of work is it's all a part of the process. What have you
Yeah.
learned? What do you think you've learned specifically about the marathon?
I mean, the main thing is like, I mean, because see, Melbourne, I put a lot of moves in, um, and actually, I felt really good in Melbourne until that downhill from the Shrine of Remembrance in the last like 2.5K or whatever until the finish. Just like that beat the shit out of my legs. um, but like putting a lot of surges in Melbourne, in Manchester, I was like, I'll just do the same thing if I'm feeling good in the last like 15K. Um, but in hindsight, I think my first objective just has to be conserve. Um,
Mm,
anyone running their first marathon is like, just like conserve and get that time. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
Mm.
if you want to like go and have a crack and like, you know what I mean? Like,
it's gonna hit you.
yeah, like it will like, um, it will bite you like at some
Yeah.
time of the race. Where, you know what I mean? Like, um, and so that's the thing. Like, I think next one just I'll find a quick marathon and just chill out a bit during and try to just run the 42Ks like as even as I can.
Mm,
Mm.
And then, I mean, as I get fitter and stronger, I'll be able to sort of, I don't know, play with more sort of methods. But I guess just, yeah, I just guess running consistently, it's almost like the same thing as like a 1500. Like, if you're yo-yoing and like fighting everyone for every single like position, like you're gonna waste a lot of energy.
yeah,
That's the same thing in the marathon. It's like if you're too keyed up doing tiny shit the whole way, like it's gonna bite you.
yeah,
Mm.
But yeah, I mean, just like I think that's the big takeaway.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah, 100%. I think, like, for example, you could be feeling pretty good through a lot of the marathon, and then it just smacks you. Like if you've just gone out too quick, but sometimes too quick, especially when you're sort of in the moment and you're like got the excitement of the race, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
You can feel good, right? Like you can just
I mean
feel
that was the
good.
same thing. It was funny because like, see, I knew that going into my last race. Like I made that assessment of Manchester, being like I should have just chilled.
Mm.
And then going into Copenhagen, I was like, same thing. I was like, okay, uh, I'm just gonna like chill, run my pace, like happy days. You know what I mean?
Mm,
I think the problem with Copenhagen as a race is like because there are these sort of like big, quick marathons, like the majors, like you got like Chicago and London and some of the Japanese one. They're just built for running quick.
mm,
Mm.
I think race organizers like uh, look at these other races that are quick, but like they're not the big ones. Is they sort of want to make them uh, like touristy as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And so they don't attract the good sort of European fields, uh, wanting to run like 2:10 to 11.
Mm.
The organizers sort of ring up a few agents and be like, "Hey, can I get like some of your like Kenyan guys?
Mm.
Like there's good prize money, we'll pay you to come, whatever." And so like all those guys come in and they're just racing for the money. So it's like they go with the 2:08 pacemaker. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
because they're trying to win and run super quick.
Mm.
And so it was like in Copenhagen, it was like I wanted to run 3:05s. First K, they ran 3:03s. So I'm like, oh, I might as well sit at the back of the pack
Yeah.
because like I'll be better off running with like 15 guys than I will be just like in a tiny pack.
Mm.
And so I sort of went with them. And I think, I mean, whether I went with them or not, I'm sure I still would have run the last like 22K solo.
Yeah.
But I think because like we started cranking pretty quick Ks like early on, like 2:58 7th K, 2:55 8th K.
Wow.
And that was the thing. It was like I wasn't running my race.
Mm.
And like obviously it came back and beat me. But then again, like had I not gone with them, I probably would have been solo for like longer. So it was sort of like
Definitely. Yeah.
it's sort of just
Tough.
the best.
Damned if you do, damned if you
Yeah.
don't.
I don't know. It was kind of the worst part about the race was that there was this part like 30 k's in, and it was when we were going through the cobblestones, great. And then this part of the course, which on the map I didn't really know what it meant, because they had these two separate routes. But it turns out I was sort of, I don't know, starting to burn like 32K, and you could choose which way through the city you want to go.
Oh, what?
Like,
Oh.
and I was like, I just don't want to. I was like, bro, I don't want to think. Like,
Whoa.
you know what I mean?
What do you mean
like,
you can
That's
choose,
crazy,
like as in
yeah,
a
what?
tourist
Like-
thing, like experience the city?
go down like these alleyways or these alleyways, which were the same distance. But it was like,
That's terrible.
that is like I just want to run as quick as I can. Like I don't have to do like calculations. You know what I mean?
Yeah, far out.
Especially not 32 k's into the marathon. No one's going to be like, huh, I think, you know,
Literally.
which one's more scenic? Oh, I always wanted to go down that one. It's like,
Yeah.
what do you mean?
And like all of a sudden you're being shouted at in Danish about like, something you got no idea, and like people point to one way and other people pointing the other way. It's like just random. Yeah.
All right, we might have to send them an email and be like, come on, guys.
Nice idea, but like I don't know.
Yeah, you could see their heart was in the right place.
Yeah,
But,
I mean, I think if you are chasing time, you just got to be strategic about which ones you choose. But then I guess at the end of whichever month it was, May, like there isn't that much to choose from.
yeah.
So the only ones that weekend there was one in Latvia, one in Geneva, which was partly on dirt roads,
Wow.
Right.
and Copenhagen, and that's sort of how I chose it.